My name is Laurens Wapenaar. I am product manager at FinDock, and with me is Klaas Koistra, also product manager at FinDock. And together we'd like to talk about and show you what we will be releasing in our January 24 release, the first of the year. And a happy new year to you. We're looking forward to bringing lots more payments innovation to everyone. So happy new year from the entire FinDock team. Everything we'll be talking about is already in your sandbox environment and can be tried out and tested there, and will be automatically pushed to your production environment with our production release on Sunday night, the 28th of this month. If you'd like to track all these releases, you can do so on status.findoc.com for live updates. The 4 topics that we'd love to talk about today are as follows. We'd like to give you an update on our pilot features. We'll be talking about the V1 version of our API. Klaas is going to talk about and show you a lot of the new features we've built for Sweden. And of course, at the end, we'll go over some of the small wins that we've implemented. But first, there's 2 things I'd like to mention. We're continuously adding new content to our knowledge base and our FinDock Academy. On the knowledge base, we've reworked how we talk about our permissions to clarify what they are, how they work, together also with the new permission set groups that we are piloting. And on the Academy, we've added a complete new course that talks in detail on how and why to configure FinDock giving pages. You can find the docs, of course, online, and you can sign up for free to the Academy simply with your email to enroll in any and all of the courses. Next, this is a bit of a looking forward thing. So we've started work on adding an integration with WorldPay with our MOTO capabilities. And to be able to iterate on that and roll it out, we're looking for pilot customers. So if you as a customer, are interested in doing MOTO payments with WorldPay, or as a consultant have a customer that might be interested, please contact us because we'd like to work together with you to get this feature in our next release. Now let's talk about the things we have already shipped. The first slide I'd like to show you is about where we are. So in the January release, basically every feature that we have in a pilot or beta phase is staying in their respective maturity stage. And the coming releases, we'd like to move some of these up to either general availability or to beta. But we will, of course, announce that in our release notes once we're there. One pilot that's progressing nicely is, of course, our FinDock for Fundraising pilot, the module in the new nonprofit cloud. We've added a whole bunch of small improvements based on feedback from customers and partners that have started implementing this new Salesforce nonprofit cloud. And we are always looking for more feedback here to further improve the first version of these features. So if you are working on a project with nonprofit cloud or are thinking about implementing nonprofit cloud with FinDock, well, please contact us if you find anything that you don't like or would like to see. To a reminder, we're working towards feature parity between the new nonprofit cloud and the current nonprofit success pack. And many of our main features are already included, but some, like the payment request generator and some of the components, are still being tested and added to made compatible with FinDock for Fundraising and the new nonprofit cloud. So now our next topic. 3 years ago, we shipped a brand new version of our API, so our payment API. And we feel that now is the time to start stopping support for API v1. This means that API v1 will be end of life on the 1st of January of 2025, so in about a year. So we ask any customers that are still on this old version of the API to start thinking about a migration path. There's less than a dozen customers still on this because well, it's been about 3 years, and many customers have already successfully migrated, and all new customers since that time were of course on API v2. But I would still like to remind everyone about why this is important. There are huge differences between API v1 and API v2, especially around the performance, but also around the robustness and the chances of payments going wrong. So both they're faster and there's a lot less issues. And there is significant improved security between the two architectures. And all of these things can have a significant impact on your revenue. So I would definitely recommend to start switching between the two quickly. Functionally, and also in the structure of how to call the API, there are not that many differences. So the migration path, as we've seen in practice, is often quite smooth and not that complicated. But to make it even easier, we have a whole bunch of resources to help you with this migration, both in explaining how the old and the new API work on our documentation side, detailed migration documents that have been used by many customers already to successfully perform the migration, and of course a detailed API reference for the new API version. If you foresee any issues or like to talk to us about your migration path, please don't hesitate to contact our support department, and we'll of course help you out. So now for the big new things, let's go over to Klaas.
Thanks, Lawrence, and very happy to be here and again talking about our solution for the Swedish market. We've briefly touched upon it in the last release webinar, and this is far from the last time we will be talking about our Sweden capabilities. So we've set on a multi-release effort to deliver a complete end-to-end solution for the Swedish market, where the January 24 release marks our next step in that journey. But there's more to come in the March release, which we'll be talking about in 2 months' time. But with this release, we are adding support for the Swedish direct debit scheme called Autogiro, and allowing you with FinDock to manage your entire Autogiro lifecycle, from accepting and setting up new recurring mandates online through the giving pages or through the API, to managing your recurring payments in an easy and efficient way, fully automated with our payment schedules, our recurring payment schedules, and all the capabilities that FinDock has to offer, all the way to accepting and setting up mandates through all different online, offline channels, where FinDock handles your mandate management end-to-end, including a whole set of out-of-the-box payment and mandate reports with logic that you can leverage to make managing the lifecycle of Autogiro as easy and as smooth as possible, with a lot of out-of-the-box logic shipped, which is great, and I'm very excited to see what's coming. If you would like to leverage all the capabilities that we are shipping this release, we are still looking for pilot customers. We have some, but we're always open to more. So reach out, and then I'm more than happy to see if there's a fit for you to be included in this pilot. Obviously, with a lot more to come in the next release. Now, last release, and one of the powerful features of FinDock in general, is bank statement matching. And today I want to spend a bit more time on, again, highlighting the power of bank statement matching through a demo that's tailored to Sweden, but applicable to all. So just a refresher, what is our bank statement matching feature specifically? It's a way to fully configure your business processes around matching your bank statements as automated as possible with automatic recognition, deduplication, and parsing of your payment files, where you can match against any of your standard or custom objects in Salesforce with an increased efficiency and reducing your manual interventions. And based on a customer research study we did a little over a year ago, we've seen that customers that use FinDock's bank statement matching see a 70% reduction in time spent on reconciling payment data each month, which is a massive win for all of our customers, current and future. So definitely great to discover and explore this more. Now, bank statement matching in general is not a one-step process, right? So it's for the Swedish market specifically, we automatically upload your BGMax files to Salesforce, but we don't just upload it, we also analyze the file and make sure that it's valid. We create the transaction data, and then with guided matching, which I'll show you a bit later, we automate the matching of your payments data against open installments. And if for a reason there's a couple of transactions that can't be matched automatically, we have a very powerful feature called guided review, which helps you easily guide your financial administrators to manually match those payments against your Salesforce data. Now, we don't do this in Sweden alone. Obviously, we do this across Europe with a whole set of different file formats that we support, and this list is constantly expanding. Last year we added, for example, the Norwegian file standard, and now we're adding Sweden to it as well. And if there's a change to the standard that needs to be supported, then we just make sure that you can keep parsing and using those file formats. Now, to make the switch to our Swedish BGMax bank statement file. BGMax is a bank statement file that's used only in Sweden, and it contains all of your incoming and outgoing payments except your AutoGiro direct debit payments. Now, what does that file look like? A file typically contains of several sections, which can be a specific bank account or a specific banking day. And within that banking day, there are several payments or deductions, which are payouts that are in this file. And FinDock parses this automatically and makes sure you have the right data in Salesforce. So the BGMax file can be found as a payment hub file record. Each and every section is a transaction set in Salesforce, and then each and every payment or deduction is a transaction. Now, I've highlighted the specific payment because under the surface of that specific payment, there's a whole world of specific logic around payment details with regards to the payment method, but also payer details like address, etc., that we smartly combine so you can easily match the transactions that are in your bank statement without the need to do all kinds of manual combination of different data points. You just have all the data you need to match and can automate that entire process. We don't only do this for payments, but also for your deductions, and all these individual records are transactions that you can match. I can talk about this for a long time, but it's better to show you in a demo. But before I start the demo, I want to share with you the two scenarios that I will show you in my environment. As I said before, the BGMax file contains all kinds of payer details that help you match a payment that you can't match based on a reference to an open invoice or installment in your environment. Now, one of those data points is the payer city that sometimes is present. FinDock automatically parses that city. And in this scenario, I've got a payment for 600 Swedish krona, but the only thing I know is the payer's name and the city. And what I want to do and what I want to show you is, based on guided matching, see that I can find several accounts that are based in that city, then manually select the right account based on the name, and then automatically apply the payment to an open installment that's for the same amount. To do so, I'll switch to my Salesforce environment, and I've already uploaded a transaction set with all the payments in here. So there's several details around the transaction set, which is a section in your file. In this case, there are 4 entries in this file that we want to match, and we're focusing on 2 today. So this is the transaction that I wanted to show you. So there's a payment coming in for Oles Vark AB, which is a company for 600 krona. And as you can see on the right-hand side of your screen, all the data is already extracted around the account holder name, and in this case, the city. But we weren't able to find the right account yet. So I created a rule that searches for the billing city, and I found 2 accounts. The second account obviously matches the name of the transaction. So I'm going to pick that one and continue my matching so I can match the payment. Now the second example I wanted to show you, and I'm going to briefly switch back to my slides for you. Is an example where I have the full payer address, but I can't seem to find the reference of the installment. Now, in this case, there's a payment for 100 Swedish krona, and there are 2 open invoices for that specific account, both for 50 Swedish krona. So the end result of this demo will be that I have one account found based on the exact address automatically, and then I can apply that 100 Swedish krona and split that payment into 2 parts of 50 krona, which matches the entire transaction to the installment. Now I go back again to my demo environment, and as you can see here on the right-hand side of your screen, we again extract all the data, we standardize the amount, and we also extract all the other account holder name and address lines from this specific transaction. These rules that you see here come all out of the box. So there's no need to configure this for yourselves. Obviously, you can adjust the logic, but it's all comes as part of our Swedish solution. The only thing I added is a rule that tries to find the account based on the address that's already extracted, because you can store your address in different fields. This is something you can easily add yourself. And in this case, indeed, I found an account, and then I found multiple installments. Now, for the sake of the demo, I stopped here and manually will apply both the 50 krona to the open installments, but you can automate this entire process. I have 2 installments, 1852 and 1853, which are still open for this account. If I hit save and continue, it will process the transaction. So you see that the status is updated to matched. And you also will see here at the bottom that we indeed created 2 individual payments for 50 krona. And if I select one of the installments, you will see that it's updated to collected for the 50 krona that I selected in my guided review component. And this makes it really easy to process and handle those maybe unknown payments where something is a bit off from your standard. For example, like the reference is not right, or you only know the city and the amount is not as what you expected. And it's very powerful that all those rules come out of the box and you can extend them to your own logic. There's a lot more to come, and there's also a second file standard that's coming for Sweden. But everything I've just showed you is also applicable to all the other file standards I just showed you, where you can extend this logic and based on the data you have in your transactions, extend it and leverage it to automate your business processes. That's it for now for Sweden. There is more to come. If you want to know more, definitely don't hesitate to reach out. And back to you, Laurens.
Thanks, Klaas, for this detailed demo. Our final topic of today are the small wins that we've implemented. We continuously try to improve every single feature that we have based on feedback that we get from customers and partners. We're not going through all of them individually, but there are two that I'd like to highlight. Like mentioned before, we are working on improving our permission set structure, and we've implemented several feedback items that we got on our integration user group that contains several permission sets. And next release, we hope to bring those to GA. But any feedback you might have on this, please let us know so we can implement it. The second thing I'd like to highlight is that we've added multi-merchant support for Worldline SaferPay, formerly known as Six SaferPay. So now it's possible to manage payments for multiple SaferPay merchants in one Salesforce environment. And we see that many of our customers use multi-merchant in general, and that turns out to be a quite important feature. So definitely, if you are a SaferPay customer with multiple merchants, or you have customers in Switzerland or Germany that use SaferPay, check with them whether they have multiple merchants that they would like to manage instead of the one that was possible before. Any details around all of these smaller items can be found in our release notes. And of course, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask them now, and we'll try to answer them live, or send us an email directly, both to me and Klaas, or to our support department, and they will make sure that your question gets to us. That's it for today. We'll stick around for questions. But if you have other things to do, then we'd like to wish you a nice weekend. Thank you, and see you next time.